Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you sticking around. Thanks for being here. I appreciate your time. Guys, if you're new to my channel and you haven't already, if you'd be so kind and subscribe, click the bell for notifications and leave a thumbs up on this review. And if you have already, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You guys are amazing. Now, without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and roll that intro with the cast, the director, the duration, the rating, and the genre of this movie, guys. And then after that, guys, let's talk about this movie and you'll hear my thoughts on In the Heights. In the Heights director is John Hem Chu. First off, we have Anthony Ramos as Usnavi, Corey Hawkins, who plays Benny, and Leslie Grace as Nina, Rosario, Melissa Berra as Vanessa. PG. 2021. 2 hours and 23 minutes long. Straight off the bat, guys, I want to say this, and it's not technically a negative thing to any degree at all to do with the movie, because it makes sense in the movie and it's quite fluent, if that makes sense. But something I want to let you know about straight off the bat is the fact that some of the spoken dialogue in this movie is not English at all. And to my surprise, there's only few moments in the movie at all where that element of dialogue is actually not up on the screen. So I as an audience member, had literally no idea what they were talking about. It wasn't frustrating, because if you understand the movie when you see it, you'll understand that it's not really that much of a big deal. So it didn't really impact the movie as an overall theme to the movie. But it's just one of those things where it's like, well, you could have just had that out of respect of the movie itself, if that makes sense. But in saying that, like I said, guys, it didn't really detach me from the movie at all, because of what else I have to say about this movie, guys. I don't really talk about this much in many movies, but this one I had to bring to your attention because I thought it was really cool. And that is simply this: the Warner Brothers transformation logo at the very start and literally the opening of the film. I really like how they did that. I don't know why I find that stuff so fascinating. I just think it's unbelievably clever how they can just transform something like the Transformers into something completely different. I just find that incredible. And the way certain openings of certain movies do that is just, I just think it's almost like, for us as an audience member, it's just a way of the cinematographer and the editors saying, you're in for a treat. Like, realistically, you're in for a treat, because whatever comes after this is just even better. So it sort of sets the benchmark, and I like where that benchmark is set. One of the things I really enjoyed about the opening sequences of this movie, guys, is actually the hose, the water coming out of the hose, going to the sequence of the beat of the song that they're singing at the time. I thought that was really clever and unbelievably well executed. So there's this scene in this movie, and anyone who has been following my channel for any period of time, you guys know that I don't do spoilers in my movie reviews at all. So fear not, you're not going to get them from me. In this movie, guys, there is a camaraderie, whatever the word is, singing elements to where two characters are singing, and they're singing it just kind of random stuff actually. But after that sequence, literally a lady says a line, and her line made me burst out laughing, and the line was, "You thirsty as hell," and I cracked up laughing at that line because that was so funny, and it just made so much sense in the movie, and it was really well clever, really brilliantly executed. From the film's point of view, is really funny. I was blown away by this part of the movie, guys, and I really mean this. This took me by surprise, and I really mean took me by surprise. The mannequin's head turning. There was several on the shelf, and it's something that it almost like wasn't obvious at all. But then once you actually realize what you just saw, it became really evident of how cool that really was. And that was something in this movie that I was like, oh, that was cool. Something that I didn't think that they'd go to the extent of doing at all, and they did, and it was really, really well executed. And I just loved how well and seamless it looked in the scene, and really just unbelievably just clever, like really clever overall. So in this movie, guys, one of the ladies in this movie who is also a singer, I'm going to say two things. Something to do with her, and then something to do with her in her imagination of the film. Something to do with her, at the beginning of the film, she actually has really straight hair. And then later on in the film, she has super, super frizzy curly hair. And I actually liked her better with straight hair. Not that she looked unattractive with the curly hair, but I found her really, really glamorously beautiful with the straight hair. And I was like really taken back by that. Something in her imagination in this movie, guys, and I'll call it the cloth scene. When you see it, it's actually what she's imagining in the streets of where she lives. And they're coming down from the tops of the building tops. I was blown away by that. It was just so beautiful, so creative, so imaginative, and just the execution of what it looked like from her perspective was really well done. I loved that thoroughly. This scene is kind of a little bit hard to talk about, and I apologize in advance if you've seen this movie and this chokes you up. Obviously, most of the people haven't seen this movie, so when I tell you about this scene, it's going to be full on when you see it. And it's a bit of a heads up because it's really emotional. But what I'm talking about, guys, is actually the candle scene. That was really, really hard hitting, and I found it unbelievably just really, it's a really sad scene. Beautifully tied into the rest of the movie, but really, really sad. Speaking about beautifully tied into the rest of the movie, guys, one of the things that I found about this movie it's really, really evident, and it's not really a good thing. It's not a bad thing, but it's not really a good thing, is actually the runtime of the movie. That was something of this movie that I felt it. It's not bad, I just really, really felt it. It really does feel like the duration is what it is, and not so much a bad thing, but you just really feel the runtime of this movie. One of the things I did not understand at all how they did in this movie, and I cannot wait to see the making and like buy it on Blu-ray to see the making of this, and hopefully it's in there. I would love to see how they did the wall dance scene, and those of you who have seen the movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and those of you who haven't seen the movie, when you see the movie towards the end of the film, that there's a dance on a wall, and you'll know exactly when you see it. You can't miss it because it is incredible. I would love to know how they filmed that, because that was outstanding. It blew me away. And the biggest thing that blew me away about it was the water dripping from the pipe was actually going the way it should have been going. And it was like, whoa, yeah. I'm guessing it's wire work rigging. I don't know, but it was incredibly, impeccably executed. And I was genuinely, absolutely blown away by the execution of that scene. Speaking of scenes, guys, another scene in this film that I was really, really amazed by is the discovery of what he finds in the empty house scene. That was really, really cool. It was just really well executed, and it was such a good icing to the cake to the lead up to the rest of the film. And it was such a sort of relief to what the end of the film came to. And honestly, that was a really good surprise for us as an audience member, and how he responded to discovering the surprise. It was really well done like that. And in the same sequence of that scene, right at the end of that, he actually says, and I don't like swearing, but I'm going to because it was in the movie. He actually says in this movie, guys, how do you get this gold shit off? That was really funny with that dialogue was really, really funny. That line was in context to the rest of the scene. It was really well executed, and I had a really good laugh. And I guarantee you, if you haven't seen this movie, when you see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That was a good laugh. That was a really, really good laugh, and a really good just tie-in joke to what the situation was that they were singing about. It was really funny. So in summary, guys, I just want to say this about this incredible movie, In the Heights. One, I highly recommend that you go and see it. Absolutely, 1000%. But two, there's nothing bad, and I mean no bad person, no bad elements to this movie. It is a beautiful, fantastic musical that will literally get you off your seat and get you partying, honestly, from start to finish, because this movie is going to absolutely be a family fun movie for everyone. You guys are going to thoroughly enjoy it. I honestly really encourage every one of you guys to go and see this movie if you haven't already, because it is incredible. Guys, as you know, this review is for In the Heights. Yes, that movie right there. I really appreciate you guys sticking around and watching this review. I seriously appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, guys, who's bringing this movie review for In the Heights. Guys, this is Superman Steve. Appreciating you guys always and loving your time. Flying out!